I am honored of interviewing Ervin Laszlo, internationally renowned system thinker, to ask him some crucial questions about his thinking. Perhaps one of the most important questions humanity can face and answer is whether the universe is a friendly universe.
It's an evolving universe where all things co-evolve. And since we are part of it, certainly it must be friendly because we have evolved in this universe in a certain ways more evolved than any other form of life on this planet. Not in every way, but certainly our mind, our brain has become more complex. So we are an expression of an evolution in this world, and therefore as part of that evolution, certainly it is friendly to us, but more important, we must be friendly to it.
Okay, if we were to consider it friendly and in a way geared towards our greater good, how would we account for the aberrations and tragedies that abound that are not caused by humans, that are just natural occurrences, such as babies dying of cancer and all the myriad difficulties that abound in human life?
Only human beings have now the freedom to choose beyond their survival necessity, to be friendly to others, to work harmonized with others, or to separate themselves off and work for their own good without regard for others. So by living only for the day, only for ourselves without regard to consequences, we are creating a lot of suffering. A great accomplishment of the current revolution in the sciences is to show our interconnections, show that what we do does have an effect. We are now just minor playthings of the universe. We are really here as an element that can decide the evolution of life on this planet, and probably in interaction with other planets, with life elsewhere, because all things are, through the unified field, all things are interconnected with all other things.
Science does state as a fact that the sun will someday explode and not shine, and that will be the end of the universe. How are we to cooperate if in fact evolution is moving towards a higher degree of complexity and perfection? How do we explain and what do we do about this occurrence?
During the evolution of this universe, there are creating effects, big bangs. There are many universes could be created successively, and these universes must be interlinked because they all emerge from the same ground, the ground which you call the unified field or the Akashic field. So the evolution in one universe will be reflected in the evolution of other universes. Evolve more in this universe, the next universes will evolve to a higher level. So there is a continuous cycle of existence which doesn't end with this universe, just as it doesn't end with the Earth, doesn't end with this our own life. It's a continuous process of evolution, and it moves, as far as we can see, to a higher and higher level of coherence, complexity, and integration. And this seems to be, you might say, the cosmic or the divine plan. Then we could join consciously in being a positive agent of evolution. We need to be coherent within ourselves. We need to be coherent with the world around us so that we could co-evolve. And when we are coherent outside and inside, then the expression that is being used now in science is we are then super coherent.
Wonderful. Do you think we'll be able to create enough knowledge and spread the word about this in time to turn things around?
You know, paradoxically, the higher the level of crisis, the smaller the critical mass that is needed to change it.
Really? Oh.
Because when there is no crisis, there are tremendous forces that maintain the status quo, that resist change, you see. That's conservative. When there is a crisis, the system opens up. You can only really learn and evolve when the old system can be replaced by a new. So for the old system, in a sense, need to become weaker, needs to become less resistant to change.
And is the world ready for change?
There are extremist factions coming to power. Paradoxically, it could be that when these factions come to power, they'll accelerate the transformation because they'll create such a level of perceived crisis that people will want to do something. It's a risky process. Then we have to be very careful that the change that comes is moving in the right direction. So dedicated, committed groups of people emerging in different parts of the world and then hopefully joining together so that they can become that change that they want to see in the world.
Heard you say several times that the importance of the role of women in these groups. Perhaps you could say a few words about this?
In the previous phases, in the previous thousands of years, and the previous last few hundred years as well, we still were conquering territories, typically masculine values. And the values of that typically are held by women are ones of creating family, creating community. Men can have these values, but women have them more. So I think if more women can take an active role, we can have a real hope to develop a world that can work for everybody, can develop for all.
Thank you so much, Ervin. This has been an honor and a privilege. Wonderful to hear you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabina.
Wonderful.